Good evening. This is Anka Metcalf with Trade Out Loud, and tonight I will be discussing some trades that I am looking at for next week. First off, we should first take a look at the market and see where we're heading into next week. And as you can see, things haven't changed much in the market for last week. So we did have a support level that was being held here, and I'm looking at the Qs in this 104.50 area, from which it bounced into this resistance area, right into this 200 period moving average, from which price was rejected and came back down, almost testing prior lows right here from May 6th. So moving forward, unless we break above this range of 107.70 or break below this range at 104.50, we're still in a very, very sideways pattern, which does not make for very good swing trades, not unless we find something that is totally trading on its own. And I did find some trades that are ignoring the market somewhat, but still they're very, very tricky. So we would rather have a market that is trending, and in order to take these swing trades. This was the whole issue for this year. So starting December, the market has been very, very tricky, and it had some extreme move swings from low to high and high to low, basically trading within a larger price range within the monthly chart or the weekly chart, making it very, very hard for swing traders. It is a day trading environment, and I have to advise for those of you that are day trading, you could probably switch for the time being to day trading. Swing trading continues to be a little bit tricky as far as the stops are concerned. We almost need to take a second look on the weekly chart and take these trades based on a weekly chart rather than a daily chart or an hourly chart, where I find my entries most of the time. Okay, so that being said, this is the chart of the Qs, and we're going to take a quick look at the SPYs. So the SPYs are pretty much into the same situation. This is a daily chart of the SPYs. We do have a lot of support in this area, 203.85, and we do have resistance at 208.44, and we do have a double top right here into the 211 area. So it's very, very tricky. We are descending a little bit onto the daily chart, but we're still sitting on plenty of support right here and at 104 area. So again, as long as we maintain this range, the more tricky it is going to be for us to get a very, very high odds swing trade. But nonetheless, we do have some very good candidates for next week. I won't call any trades, but I will discuss them with you tonight in this video. The first trade is Hpq. And actually, Hpq is one of my favorite trades so far. It comes from a descending pattern on a weekly chart. So let me just go on the weekly chart. So it is in a very good downtrend setting, lower highs and lower lows. We just about triggered another sell onto the weekly chart into the $13 area, and we have descended into this prior support area that is now just about to be taken out. So let's go to the daily chart right now, and let's take a look at this congestion right here. Let me just zoom out a little bit. So we do have a price congestion with a possible breakdown that can come below $11.35 with a possible protective stop above $11.80. Now, I really don't want to call this trade right now because we're still in that sideways pattern, the Qs and the SPYs, and I'm waiting for a little bit more price confirmation in order to have established prices for this trade. So just remember, just be on watch, have Hpq on your watch list, and I will be sending an alert out as soon as this triggers, or if the market proves that it's moving slightly lower, so into this direction. So if the market should continue to fall below its support area, so right now it's just trying to challenge that support area, but if we should fall below that support area, I will be looking for a short in this stock, Hpq, below $11.35. So this is the first trade. The second trade that I have on my radar is Toll Brothers. Now, we have some housing numbers that are coming in tomorrow, and we're going to focus on those again at around 10 o'clock. But until then, again, this is going to be on the watch list. The area that I'm watching is $26.25 for a possible short. Now, remember that if the market should reverse and continue higher, this can very well become a long position over $27 and change, about $27.15. So just remember, this is a double take right here. I would favor more a downtrend in this stock than an uptrend. But nonetheless, we will look at both situations. So if we should call this as a short trade, so this is a double take. If we should call this as a short trade, $26.25, this is going to be probably the entry with a predictive stop. I like to put us as close as possible to $27. And then again, we will look for further downward move into the $24.50 and into this low of $23.75. If the market should continue higher, if we should get positive reaction to housing numbers this week, this can even be a possible long over $27 with potential targets into $28, $29, and $30. So it's pretty much close to a 3-hour trade, which makes it a good trade. So again, stay tuned for this trade as well. HRL is another trade that I actually looked at earlier today, and what I'm looking at is a possible short in this area. Now you can see my cursor here. We have resistance at $40.50. That comes from a prior high back in December. You could see the high right here into the exact same area from which price was rejected. It came back down, made a new low into this 36.90 area from which it bounced higher. Okay, so right now it based here for a very long period of time for the month of February and February and March. And from which it declined into April 18th. You can see right here into the prior support area, double bottom, very weak bounce to the upside, and again here getting rejected at the exact same area from which it got rejected back in December, $40.50. And again, tomorrow we will look at the prices, and we will see if we will get a trigger below $39 and about 70 cents, 65 cents. This is the area that I will look to short this for a target into the $38 area and $37 area. And these are the first two targets. I'm going to look for more downside to it into the $36 area. And if you look on the weekly chart, let me just pull the weekly chart real quick here. I'm even looking for an upper $35 area. So this is where I would be looking for. So you see resistance right here, $34 and about 70 cents. So I will look even for a $35 area if we break this double bottom. So this is the first price rejection that we're having right here in HRL. The next trade that I'm looking at is Twitter. Twitter is a little bit tricky, but it has flirted with this $14 area for so long, and it's basing onto the daily chart. It has actually gapped down below the support area, $15.30. It based even lower, so it's just trying to break this $14 and stay below that. Now, remember, this is the all-time low that we have at $13.90. It's hard to break this area, but if we break this area, there's a lot of void below it, and I've run some projections, and the projections run all the way to about $9.25. So I'm not saying that it's going to go there just in one shot, but it has a lot of odds of continuing lower and making this a plus 3R trade at least. The next trade that I will be discussing is Bsx. Now, this is Boston Scientific. This is a very strong stock on all major time frames. So what really happened here, it reported earnings on April 27th, from which price gap up, maintained support level, first support level that was determined from the gap up at $21, and then the secondary support level $21.50, and we have a third support level developed at $21.82. This stock has a lot of room to move higher, and I just want to show you real quick the monthly chart right here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So we have an all-time high of $46.10, and we have a beautiful rounded bottom with multiple support levels at $4.85 and really nice ascending move. And we do have higher lows and higher highs developed onto the monthly chart. So it does have a lot of odds of continuing higher, of at least projections into the $30. So this one is going to be on our watch list for the end of the year, where we might be in and out of this trade. It looks even good for a core trade, but so far it's not setting up for a really good pullback for a core trade. So that being said, if this stock is not going to pull back, anyways, this is going to be a very, very good swing long position. And especially, remember, this stock is continuing higher as the market is sideways towards trying to trend lower and break that support level. So all our eyes are going to be on this stock. If the market should move higher, this is going to be one of the best candidates. And remember, NVIDIA had earnings on Friday, and it ran higher. So all our eyes are going to be on NVIDIA as well. So at each pullback will be viable if the market should set highs into this week and try to break above that range. So again, we're going to look for a breakout of this breakout area of this resistance area of $22.42, and most probably the stop is going to be below this low at $21.85. So this is a stock that is totally trading on its own. It's ignoring what the market is doing, and we're just going to get more buying pressure in this stock and more volume as we are going to, and it's already trading at with tremendous amount of volume so far. So as you can see, on Friday we had over 16.8 million shares traded in this stock. So very good to keep for our strong list. Another one is EW, Edwards Life. And this stock is very, very interesting because it did gap up. It never quite set up for a new high, and price was rejected right here at 107.30. It came back down, and as you can see here, there's a huge void going down all the way to about $90. So if it should break this area, this goes to the short list. 102.50 is going to be the breakdown point for this stock. And again, it's going to have a little bit of a bigger stop, but nonetheless, it has a very, very big target, a very wide target. So EW is going to be on our short list as well. And XOM, we're going to see what oil is doing next week. And this was a late bloomer with a breakout that happened in March. So it just meandered into the $82 area every single time. When it fell into the $81 area, got bought and pushed up a little higher, pushing the boundaries to $83, $84, even $85 here, from which again it pulled back to the $82 area, not quite to the $81. So a new higher low for XON, pushed higher, really pushed, and reached the 90s on May 10th. Now, the way it is setting up right here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You can see that it's starting to reverse a little bit into this area. Now, it doesn't look this dramatic onto the daily chart, but let me show you what I see into the monthly chart. Okay, so the monthly chart, we do have not only a top here and double top here, so we do have this huge resistance area that is developing at the $90 area that has developed a long time ago through this congestion, and we might get a turnaround here. Moreover, when you look on the weekly chart, we do have a really flat 200 that is pushing price lower at $90, and we do have a lot of topping tails in this area as well. So we will be watching. We might be able to get an early entry for a possible correction in XOM. Also, double top from this area from back last year in April, last year in May, April, May of last year. So we're challenging these highs right here. So again, we will be watching these areas to see if we're going to either stabilize or push lower. But remember, if S&P is going to drag lower, we're going to focus on these stocks entering a correction. Okay, and now to recap some of last week's trades, CTXS was one of the first trades that was called last week in the newsletter. And so I am in this trade, and the trigger was 81.25. I was able to get it at 81.31, actually, CTXS. So it did trigger higher. It had a first really nice ascending move. I have my stop. This is a personal preference. I have my stop at break even right now, because I am expecting a correction because it hit the first area of resistance right here. So it did hit our targets area up to $84, but it still has more upside to it. So we're going to see, it's depending on the market, it's doing what the market is doing. It's totally sideways. Okay, the second trade that was called last week was TXZ. This is Texas Instruments, and the trigger was at 57.50. Now, with this stock is triggered, has reached over $58. I still have my stop, the original stop that I have below this pivot, and we're still going to wait and see if it should continue higher. The way it's setting up, support level here, very thick, very good, below $56 and change. So if we break above this $58 area, we still have a really nice void going into the $60 area. We had an initial really nice move in Microsoft. Our entry was $50.50. We had a really nice void and continuation pattern almost to $52 right here. We still expect some more upside to it. We did have the declining 20 that pushed price a little bit lower. Now the price is sandwiched between this 200 period moving average and the 20 period moving average. So we're going to see if it's going to have some pressure here. If not, this should reverse and continue higher into the $52 area. So what I suggest you do in this stock, and what I personally am going to do, I am going to lock in $50.50, which is my entry. So from that point on, from this point on, from $50.50, and this is the area right here, we would have a free trade. So let it wiggle. We really don't want, because if the market should reverse, we really don't want to have to do with anything with this long anymore. So we're going to have a free trade. But if it should reverse, this is a very good support area for it from these prior lows right here, so $50.50. So if we should pull back and form support here, this can be the second trampoline for the price to ascend higher. And the last trade that was called last week was Bank of America over $14.15. And we did trigger, this was the trade right here, we did trigger. We actually continued higher into $14.50. We have resistance at $15 and $15 and changed, and we had a reversal. But wait, I'm still keeping my stop at the same price level below this pivot, and the reason why is because we do have a prior resistance area that translates into support area at this level. So we're going to see if this area is going to be tested out, not moving my stop, leaving the stop right where it is, and we're going to be able to see what next week is going to bring us from the market. In terms for earnings next week, we have Home Depot that is going to report earnings on Tuesday morning before the market opens. So we're going to watch a reaction to that. This is going to be also a very good candidate because if the price should gap up above this congestion at 137 level, we can continue higher. This is a very, very, very bullish stock. I wouldn't trade anything ahead of earnings, and I don't suggest anyone does because we really don't want to have any overnight surprises. But at the same time, if you take a look, we can even have, so if it all depends on earnings, but if we have bad numbers that are going to come out, this can actually be a potential short and a breakdown. So that is definitely going to be a watch. TJ Maxx is one of my favorite stocks again this year, TJX, and it's also going to report earnings Tuesday morning. Now, retailers were really, really bad hit last week, and we're going to see if TJ Maxx is going to be able to recoup from this loss. It traded in sympathy with the others. Now, it is on a support level right here. We have a very dramatic topping tail in TJ Maxx right here, suggesting a lot of sell. We don't quite have a lot of volume here, so I don't think, like, probably the selling is not over, so we can expect a little bit more downside, at least to about $72 or $71.50 in this area. But again, we do have a lot of support right down into the $72 area, so we're going to watch it. It might reverse on earnings, so we just have to see. So far, earnings have not been that great for retailers, so we're just going to have to see what's that going to do. Also, Lowe's is going to report earnings Wednesday before the market opens. So again, Lowe's and Home Depot kind of like go both hand in hand here on the chart, so you can see a lot of similarity. We do also have these multiple tops onto the daily chart at this price level at $77.60. So we're going to see if this is going to hold. If we're going to gap up above it, we're going to continue higher. If not, price is going to get rejected from this price with a gap down. Then we might expect a correction. But don't forget, Lowe's and Home Depot are in a very, very strong uptrend. Target is also going to report earnings, one of the retailers, Wednesday before the market opens. It was beat up very, very severely. It is on an area of support right here at $74. So I think that it is way safer to stay away, especially if you're a swing trader, until after earnings. Another company that I'm looking forward to seeing earnings for is Cisco. CSCO is the symbol. So Cisco, again, a lot of support at $26 level. Very curious to see. I do like it above $27 area, for higher into the $29 and $30 area, but it all depends on earnings. We're going to see how those are going to come out. So again, they're going to continue. So retailers are going to continue to report earnings like Urban, Dick's Sports, Walmart on Thursday, Ross Stores also on Thursday before the market close, as well as Foot Locker and this is as far as retails are concerned. So in terms of economic events for next week, what I will be looking at is the housing market index, and that's going to be a very, very important call for home builders, and that's going to be Monday at 10 a.m. Also, don't forget that we have FOMC meeting minutes that are going to come out on Wednesday, and oil inventories at 10:30 again. That's also on Wednesday. And Friday, 10 a.m., existing home sales. So that's what I mean. This week is going to be big, not only on the stocks that were awaiting earnings, but also on these home building stocks. So hope you enjoyed tonight's video. Please, if you have any questions, email me at info@tradeallow.com. More than happy to answer all your questions. I will be back tomorrow in the newsletter, tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday, for some definite calls in some trades, some of the above mentioned trades for this week. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a pleasant evening.